You think you're in control, but you're not. Your brain is quietly hijacking your decisions, your money, your time, without you even realizing it. You think you're making smart choices, but 33 invisible traps are pulling the strings. And if you don't learn to spot them, you'll stay stuck forever. So let's expose them, one by one. Every day, you wake up with good intentions. You plan to save more, focus harder, stop procrastinating, maybe even start that business you've been dreaming about. But somehow, by the end of the day, nothing really changes. You scroll when you should be working. You spend when you should be saving. You hesitate when you should act, or jump in when you should have waited. Why? Because deep inside your brain, there are traps, mental shortcuts, emotional landmines, invisible forces you never learned about in school, and they're running the show. The worst part? They feel normal. But here's the truth. If you don't learn to master your mind will master you, and it will quietly lead you into a life of average. Let's start with 5 that are silently destroying your finances. 1. The ostrich effect. You avoid checking your bank balance because you don't want to see the damage, but avoiding pain doesn't fix the wound, it deepens it. 2. The Diderot effect. You buy one new thing and suddenly feel like everything else you own isn't good enough. That one new shirt becomes a new wardrobe. That new phone leads to new accessories. You don't realize it, but your identity is being reshaped by what you buy. 3. Anchoring bias. You see a $2,000 phone, and suddenly the $1,200 one seems like a deal. But here's the truth. Anchors are used to manipulate your perception, not give you value. 4. Loss aversion. You're more afraid of losing $10 than excited about gaining $20. That fear keeps you from investing, from taking calculated risks, from leveling up, and it quietly kills your growth. 5. The sunk cost fallacy. You keep sticking with a failing business, toxic relationship, or bad habit because you've already invested so much. But staying stuck doesn't recover the past, it sacrifices the future. But these are just the surface. Later in this video, we'll expose the hidden mental bias that makes you trust fake experts, and the psychological trick that big brands use to make you overspend without realizing it. Don't miss that. Next, let's look at the traps that paralyze your productivity and decision-making. 6. The planning fallacy. You always think things will take less time than they actually do. So you overload your to-do list, burn out, and then blame yourself. The fix? Build in buffer time. Plan for reality, not fantasy. 7. The spotlight effect. You think people are watching, judging, noticing your every move. But most people are too busy thinking about themselves. Stop overthinking. Take the shot. 8. The inability to close doors. You try to keep all options open and make progress on none. Real success comes from choosing one door and closing the rest. 9. The contrast effect. You judge everything in comparison, not in truth. That's why that $400 apartment looks cheap after you were shown the $700 one first. Stay grounded. Evaluate based on value, not illusion. 10. The endowment effect. You overvalue what you already own just because it's yours. You cling to average things that no longer serve you. Let go. Create space for better. 11. The illusion of averages. You look at average income, average returns, average risk, but averages lie. One outlier can skew the whole picture. Always dig deeper. 12. The unity principle. You trust someone more just because they're like you. That's how scams work, through familiarity. Trust facts, not faces. 13. The Zygarnik effect. Your brain keeps looping on unfinished tasks. Use this. Before bed, plan tomorrow. Your brain will work on it while you sleep. Still with me? Good, because now we're diving into the dangerous traps that destroy your confidence, mess with your memory, and ruin your motivation. And trust me, you've fallen for at least one of these this week. 14. The halo effect. You assume someone is smart just because they look successful. But don't confuse image with substance. 15. The chauffeur knowledge trap. Some people repeat smart things but don't understand them. To spot them, ask questions. They won't go deep because they can't. 16. Confirmation bias. You only see what confirms what you already believe. Growth begins where comfort ends. Seek opposing views. 17. Survivorship bias. You only see the success stories, but for every millionaire who followed their passion, there are thousands who failed. Study both sides. 18. The Pygmalion effect. You rise or fall based on what you expect of yourself. So raise the bar. 19. The framing effect. How something is presented changes how you feel about it. 90% chance to win sounds better than 10% chance to lose, even though they're the same. Always question the frame. 20. Reactance bias. You resist advice just because it sounds like a rule. Ask, is this actually good for me, or am I just being rebellious? 21. The bystander effect. You wait for others to speak up, act, or lead, but if you don't step up, no one will. 22. Ambiguity effect. You avoid uncertain options, even if they have high upside. But wealth comes from embracing calculated uncertainty. 23. The curse of knowledge. You assume others know what you know. This leads to bad communication, poor teaching, and broken systems. 24. The self-serving bias. You take credit for wins, blame others for losses. If you want power, take full responsibility. 25. Still with me? Good, because now we're diving into the dangerous traps that destroy your confidence, mess with your memory, and ruin your motivation. And trust me, you've fallen for it. Now you take all the credit. Take full responsibility. A worse third option makes a bad deal look good. Restaurants do this with medium drinks. Choose deliberately, not reactively. 28. The negativity bias. You remember one bad comment more than 99 good ones. Don't give a random hater power over your mind. 29. Action bias. You feel the need to do something, even when waiting is wiser. Sometimes, the best move is no move. 30. The gambler's fallacy. You think you're due for a win after a streak of losses. Each moment is independent. Focus on probabilities, not emotion. 31. Hindsight bias. You think you knew it all along. Be honest. What did you actually know, and what's hindsight? 32. The illusion of control. You overestimate how much control you have over random outcomes. Learn to influence what you can and release what you can't. 33. The curse of familiarity. You undervalue advice from those closest to you. But sometimes, the truth isn't in a book or a guru. It's in the person who's been telling you all along. Now that you've seen the traps, you can't unsee them. You're no longer just a product of your conditioning. You're aware, awake, and that changes everything. Because the moment you learn how your mind works is the moment you take back control of your money, your time, your habits, your life. The escape plan isn't just about building wealth. It's about breaking free from every invisible force that's been holding you back. So here's your move. Rewatch this video. Pick 3 traps you've fallen into and eliminate them this week. Your transformation doesn't start with more effort. It starts with awareness. This is how you escape. If this opened your eyes, don't stop here. Tap that playlist on your screen to discover more hidden traps and how to outsmart them. Subscribe for your weekly escape plan and start building a life you don't need to run